Welcome back to another episode of Full Circle with me, Onyx. Oh my goodness. And in my last video, we talked about unlocking the tarot. And we talked about the cards being a bridge from this mind to that mind. Okay. And I would say all my videos kind of stack on top of each other. Like, this is like a dialogue with me and you. And so there is an evolution going on, literally, from this mind to that mind. It happened, but I couldn't get to this new mind, this new video, unless I moved through the grass, or went through the jungle of that mind gymnastics to reach this plateau, to see from a new vantage point. So this video I think is going to flow more, but the ending of the last one was really good because it sounded like I went off on just a tangent, but really we got into it. We're bought and sold in everything's backwards, everything's inside out, and so untwisting yourself, deconditioning is foundation. And so magic looks twisted. Magic looks backwards and inverted. Magic looks inside out from the so-called normal point of view. This is so magicians, those that practice magic, wizards, those who practice this type of magic, they know how to untwist it. They know how to untie the knot versus getting tied up in the knot. And yes, you got to get tied up in the knot to untwist it and all that stuff too. So the magical arts and deception looks like so we'll plug in the magician card because this is what we're talking about. The codex of the mysteries, as above, so below, as within, so without, is the master key to untwist knots, to help you navigate the roadmap, the map of the mysteries. What is this mystery? Don't you think it's kind of mysterious just having a human experience, being in a body, navigating your body through time and space, the aging, the dying, all those processes from this moment to that moment? Awareness, High Priestess card. The clarity, the zen, the focus, the beingness, the stillness, the emptiness, the 0 point, the clarity, the channel. The master key, High Priestess. She who is above the moon. She who is above the stars. She who is above the planets. High Priestess. She who is center. On a six rayed cross. She who is silent, she who is empty, who has the scroll of the matrix in her hands. She who is above the high priest. So when these cards are flowing through you like a freestyle rap, you're becoming eloquent. You get the gift of Hermes. You get the silver tongue and the silver pen. And you can write and you can create from within. So flow. The cards start becoming a filing system for information. and it transcends the written language. These images become files and store a whole bunch of data, timeless data. And they have been storing information as archetypes since the dawn of time. So they are full, fruitful, and so a lot of the psychic information comes up in these prime numbers, in these basic colors, in these basic numbers, these archetypes of 0 through 9 or 0 through 10, whatever these prime numbers, these prime letters. These are the building blocks of the communication system of our universe. This is the blueprint. The cards fit perfectly by color, by number, by gender, by planes and frequencies. So you become a navigator. Instead of just being a passenger in the car, in the back seat, as a self, now that you have the blueprint, the cards, you can start understanding where you've been and where you're going. You're becoming a navigator. You're seeing the forest and the trees. You can look out and be a passenger, but you have a key. You're not the driver yet, or you may take turns. In our inverted reality of what is accepted and what is agreeable and what is understood, most people just stay there. We all agree on the definitions and numbering system of the cards, but let me tell you, you're a fool card. You're a fool to keep it in order. Why don't you shuffle it? Why don't you rearrange it? Why don't you become a wizard? And with these founding principles of earth, air, fire, and water, why don't you create something new? A god form, an angel with wings, a beast with wings. Why don't you create something new? The wizard card. We look at the top of the tree of life and the cards that are there. The Fool, the Wizard, and the High Priestess. These transcendent beings at the highest level of love, wisdom, and power. Should we say knowledge to manipulate? The knowledge embodied power. And the foolishness, the innocence, the creativity, the love of the fool. To dare to do such a thing, to imagine a wild flower, out of control, co-creating with nature, the Fool card, and consciousness, awareness, intelligence, the Magician card, and the allowance, that great void, that great surrender, the High Priestess card. Those three keys, besides just being messengers, are the guides. No need to channel one in yourself when they're right there in front of you in image form. Monolithic beings. So let's bring this down from that high state we were at, so close to true poetry, the eloquence of the source frequency. Let's bring it down a bit, okay? You're getting a reading and someone pulls the High Priestess cards and says someone's keeping secrets, someone's silent. Yeah, that's pretty basic. But when you blow it up, my subconscious, like a calm lake, like a natural mirror, is able to absorb and reflect back to me the images of heaven. Be still, be calm, it could be the psychic advice. Through the stillness, the knowledge comes to you, could be the advice. But we see that it's so much more. So when tarot steps out of the fortune telling box, it becomes a lifestyle practice. In order to be silent, you have to be balanced and centered. In order to truly have a free mind, you have to be above love. You have to be above the heart. You have to even transcend and go beyond bliss. You have to, well, actually, bliss is actually transcendent. Bliss is above love. Joy is above love. Higher states of consciousness are above love, and you start moving into the will of the divine. The will of the divine isn't something you obey. It's not like a man on a throne, okay? The will is the unfolding of the universe in its own design, in the perfection of that which it is. So it's easy to let go. It's easy to trust in that higher power because it's actually exactly what you want. That's why there's no sacrifice. There's no sacrifice cards in the higher three planes. So the Kabbalah, the universal Kabbalah with the tarot cards plugged into it, is a key, a huge key in understanding the relevance of the greater arcana, of the greater mystery. Without that key, a lot of people will keep it low. We have a tendency when things are above us to undermine and cut them down and bring them to our level of consciousness. But what happens when you did that? You brought it down to your level of consciousness. So you don't grow. And it just seems like regurgitated answers. If we're all at the same level of consciousness, we're just agreeing to the same old bullshit. What has to happen is an effort. What has to happen is your consciousness needs to grow and expand. And the only way that happens, I shouldn't say the major way that consciousness expansion happens is through real world experiences, through life, okay? Which was the whole purpose of time. Time being the great teacher gives you an opportunity to experience your experience, to have your mind open up and receive newer levels of information through the struggle, through the stress, through the pain, through the suffering, which was optional because that was all resistance. You grow. I'm talking about a different kind of struggle and strain. Like when you're solving a math problem, when you're learning to read, ride a bike, those growing pains are a little different than the martyr, the blamer, the victim mentality, which is pretty low. If you knew all of your suffering, all of your strain, all of your self-injury, I shouldn't really, the line gets blurred, but all your effort is always rewarded with higher consciousness. Every effort, every true effort creates growth. You will always be rewarded with greater consciousness. And that is how you raise your vibration. Law of frequency. Yes, the New Agers. Yes, celebrate, feel gratitude, feel love, and feel joy. Eat right. Say yes to positive vibrations. Yes. On the devotional path of the tree, on the devotional half of the mysteries, that is a sure ticket, a golden ticket to higher states of consciousness. But guess what? It's not maintained. Why do we need more drugs? We can't maintain it ourselves. Why did I have to go through a near-death experience? Maybe repeatedly. Why did I have to learn the hard way? How come the golden door? How come the easy path? How come the path with assistance always leads me back to the bottom of the tree, planet Earth? Usually in a situation even worse now. You lacked the discipline that comes through practice, that gives you the experience, that rewires your DNA. You know, neuroplasticity, mushrooms, yay. THC, yay. Psych, outside sourced assistance, guides, angels, masters, and gods, yay. In the end, you must walk alone, the hermit, to gain the knowledge. Notice the hermit's not young, he's old. You must walk your walk. You must talk your talk. You must go every step of the way into the dark, inside and out, up the mountain, in a cave, into your own subconscious, and find the sun that glows within, and draw it forth, and be a master. This is the work. What is my purpose? Get out of my school. I don't know what to do with myself. Get out. I'm a victim. I'm a whiner. I'm a complainer. I don't know what pain and suffering and obstacles are for. You're ungrateful. I slap you across the face. You're so ungrateful. Have more pain. Have more rejection. I don't get it. Because you don't get it. It's time to sit down. It's time to relax. It's time to focus. Time to create a discipline. Arrive each day. I just want to astral project. I want to go to other dimensions. Yeah. But guess what? The serpent eats its tail. As above, so below. You're always brought back to hell every time you escape. Every time you take the mystical drink, the drugs, the happiness, the joy, every time you overdose, poison your system on love, poison your system on caring too much. Every time you poison yourself with the good, you get the opposite. The sharp contrast. I like to call it Gotham City full of zombies. You get the opposite. You get the lead. You've been high. You need the lead to bring you down, to come full circle the hero's quest, to integrate it into humanity, into the collective, into the earth, into your biology, into your actions. Power is knowledge in action. It's not an idea. It's not a grand vision. It was, and now it must materialize. You, artist, must write that song and play it on the piano, and those notes must be rebirthed in this dimension. The tree of life is a bridge. Chop it into pieces, turn it into 2x4s, construct the lattice that looks like the tree of life, lattice upon lattice upon lattice, structure upon structure, a bridge into infinity. I had to grow that tree, cut it down, measure it into equal lengths and parts. I had to reorganize it, support the joints, make triangular shapes, the most strongest, and build a bridge that a train could go over it, go under it. You know? A superhighway of information. You know? The tree of life is the bridge. The tarot is the bridge, or you could say the nails and screws holding it together. And you must walk on this path and you must put forth the effort, and it will show. For it will change you. You will speak differently. You will think differently. You'll have new perspectives. Not just a hard slap of moving your assemblage point like Don Juan, from Carlos Castaneda's teachings. Not the shaman's tricks of trance and drugs and turning the world upside down through perceptions. Yes, that's part of it. But the way of the mystery school is through ritual. The way of the mysteries is through signs and symbols. The way of the mystery school is education, logic, reason, developing the human mind, developing your memory skills, developing your focus skills, focusing so strong that you can cue up any of the cards, shuffle the deck in your mind, draw a card out and give yourself a reading without the physical cards there. This is the type of adept level you need to work the cards. You have to be able to see the astrology wheel in your mind's eye. Wheel of fortune, wheel of fate, the wheel of time. You have to know your basic tree of life Kabbalah, that you can plug in the cards into the spheres and the 22 paths, the higher and the lower arcana. You have to know your elements. You have to have this image in your head to be proficient at unlocking the cards, at giving deeper readings. When we talk about the 4 worlds, the 4 bodies of the mysteries, the 4 psychological states, 4 elements, you got to be able to see that to understand the 4 elements in the cards. And you're just at the gate of the mysteries. So all your fortune telling and all your spirit conjurings is elementary. You can leave that stuff outside. We call that low magic here. The drugs, low magic, outside the mysteries, not permitted or allowed. Why? Because at this level, you can already shift your mind at will, shift your perspective at will, have body control at will. Meditation, you got it. Focus, you got it. Concentration, you got it. Feeling and sensing energy, manipulating energy, controlling energy, you got it. This is what it takes to be a true adept of the mysteries. Your education, the information, is just information. It has to be converted into knowledge. Well, you better get reading. What? The only way to learn to ride a bike is to ride a bike. But you just told me I'm so inexperienced and I don't know and I'm scared. Good. Now get out there. Go camping. Get out there. Keep reading. Oh, you're afraid? You think astrology is intimidating? Go for it. But you don't want to learn these different systems? Well, it's required if you're a true magician, a true wizard. This is the tradition. It's been handed down. Different cultures hold different keys of the same tradition because they were all one. The Universal Mystery School was a global organization that existed before the fall of humanity, as high-level tech. And now it's being preserved through the traditions. And it's enough. It's a key. It's enough to open the door to reconnect you to that inner knowing, to reconnect you to that divine blueprint. It's enough. And once the door is open, information flows. It's information. Sometimes it's mistaken as guidance, but it's just pure information. It's always there, it's always been there. It was there when the universe was built. It's part of the structure of reality. Love, wisdom, power. The structure of reality is what it is. Therefore, it must be the truth. The truth and is what we call knowledge. You know, the understanding, the wisdom, the knowledge, the reality of it. That is the wisdom. The energy, the consciousness, that is love. It is energy. It's the life force flowing through all things in accordance with the will. The will and the word, the knowledge, the power, and the love, they're all one and the same. They're of a threefold nature. Because it's the fabric of reality, the fabric of the universe, it is also science. The expression of it is education and technology. The expression of it is art. The co-creation of it. You know? So we arrive at the same mountaintop, but we might have taken different roads and had different guides and, and took different shortcuts, whatever. But we arrive at the same place. Self-knowledge. To thine own self be true. The more I know me, the more I know you. Life is a mirror. The cards are reflections, the mirrors of the universe. The cards are the codex. Now, if you just want to do fortune telling, go right ahead. But we can see now that it helps you map and navigate your subconscious mind, your conscious mind, and your superconscious mind. It transcends that to the different planes of reality. New Agers, this whole modern culture is selling all this old knowledge and rebranding it as densities, as dimensions. Oh, the 12 dimensions. Yeah. You mean the spheres in the tree of life? The densities. You mean the spheres in the tree of life? Infinite possibilities. The 22 paths on the tree of life. Wow. I'm jumping timelines. The 22 paths of the tree of life. Wow. I'm learning how to astral project, or I see things. The etheric level, the astral level, the 4 planes of existence in the tree of life. The tree of life is a big key, isn't it? It unlocks so many things. Is it any wonder that modern wizards put it out there as a tree of life that shows astrology symbols, planetary glyphs, tarot keys? Is it any wonder that they just packed that tree, hung up all these different traditions on this roadmap called the Tree of Life that doesn't belong to anyone? A tree is a tree. It's found in every culture. It's a perfect symbol that every human can understand. So, knowing this, this kind of deep dive, more creative way of teaching you, more colorful way of teaching you, you can start to reorganize your mind. An organized mind is a clear mind. You can sweep the floor clean, basically, dust off the shelves and reorganize it. The astrology system does the same thing. Tarot can, but it is usually the labels put on the boxes and the filing cabinet. It's more of the filing system. Okay? The planets, the glyphs, and the signs is the filing system. What you put in to the spheres and the paths, that's kind of the filing system and codex to help you navigate it. Now that I've really explained this to you, the cards can open up. But cards and magic go together. So you've learned magic by learning the cards. You can do magic through the cards, or you can just do magic, or you can just do cards. You know? So they're different sides of the same thing. Because it's symbols, it's magic. And it's consciousness, and it's psychology, and it's reality, and it's hacking the matrix, and it's understanding you live in a living hologram, a living virtual reality. It's a huge tool. And that's all I can say about this video. I really liked it. And you could see how these cards navigate. And you can see into how a Western wizard, Western mystery trained occultist wizard's mind is. There is a tree in their mind, and things are organized. And through that organization, there's relevance and meaning, there's understanding gained, and it's a practical system. It's an easy, simple. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. You can organize any experience you come across into the tree of life. You know, you can navigate things with astrology. And when you got those two systems as your backbone, you can add more depth and meaning to your tarot. But tarot is standalone. Okay? It really is. You're just now understanding the fullness of tarot. And that is the point of this video. Yeah, we left fortune telling a long time ago. We left speculative science a long time ago. Magic has always been ahead of the curve.